Marlow Felton.
I'm Chris Felton.
And we're here to share with you today 5 important money lessons that we have learned the hard way, right? So we're going to share them with you, so hopefully you don't have to learn them the hard way. So there's 5. And the first one is respect. We learned early on that we had to respect any and all money that came into our life. And we actually learned this from our mentors, and then actually learned it in real life, that we were never going to make more money until we handled the money we have now, or we had then, well, right?
Which I didn't.
We did.
You got to tell your people that get evicted.
Story. The eviction story. This is a really powerful example. So years and years ago, I've been in real estate, dabbled in real estate for a while. And years ago, many years ago, I worked with a property management company. And I used to have to go into these homes after people were evicted. And there was one common denominator that I noticed, that I thought about years later, which is so incredibly powerful, and I don't believe it's a coincidence, was that every single time, there was no exception to this. Every single time I would go into a home or an apartment where there had been an eviction, there was change left everywhere. I mean, quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies, sometimes just out on the floor, in drawers. And, of course I'd be like, well, okay, I guess they didn't want it. So here's somebody that was struggling to pay their rent, and yet they didn't see the importance of all the loose change. So that told me that that's how they were living the rest of their financial life. They were probably blowing money, eating out, and other seemingly little things, and they weren't respecting any and all money that came into their life. Take that story and think about that for a while, because I don't believe that that's a coincidence based on the things that I've seen.
Well, no, I used to, when I was having a ton of fun being broke.
Ton of fun.
No, I had change in my drawer in my office, my downtown office. I mean, I had dollars and dollars, and I mean, it was crazy. And then when I understood that, small things cared for, and that was the key, then I remember when I got that, I got a jar. I got up out of my seat. It was a Sunday night in our rented house, and I went into my work bag. I went into the drawers.
He found a lot of change.
And I wrote on a sticky note, and we still have that jar, the Felton Financial Freedom jar, Financial Freedom Fund, and I dropped that money in, and that was like the first sign. So, and it's not, and sometimes people are like, oh, love of money is the root of all. No, it's not. It's a healthy respect for it, which I didn't have. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just $5. I was meeting with a couple last week, and they're just like, oh, it's just $5. Oh, it's just $10. And I'm like, well, there's a reason why you're struggling.
Yeah.
Because it's small dollars cared for that compound.
Right.
So, yep.
Yeah, and respect for other people's money too. It's how it's his coffee.
Bulletproof
his
coffee.
Bulletproof coffee. Which
no,
we
they
love.
aren't paying us.
No.
We're trying to get them to.
We're open to it though.
Anyway. Bulletproof coffee.
But anyway, respect for any and all money that comes into your life, and other people's money, because how you view other people's deservingness to money is a direct reflection of our own worthiness of money. So think about that next time you have some thoughts about someone else and how they deserve or don't deserve whatever they have. It's only a direct reflection of our own worthiness. So respect of our money and other people's money. So if you're just joining us, I'm Marlow Felton. This is my sidekick, Chris Felton, with his coffee.
Bulletproof coffee.
His bulletproof coffee. And we're sharing with you 5 important money lessons that we learned the hard way. So hopefully you don't have to learn them the hard way. Number 2 is gratitude. Being grateful for anything that you have. an attitude of gratitude is the cornerstone of prosperity, which is what I always say.
And this is a big, when we speak, we're always like, oh yeah, I know that. I got to be grateful. Oh yeah, I used to put it on a to-do list. Oh yeah, be more grateful. Yeah. It's a muscle, man. You gotta develop it. And part of my morning routine and part of my morning meditation is I often say I'm a receiver of a grateful heart, and just have been working on that, because especially if you're an achiever and you set goals and you can get really caught up in, oh, I'm not there yet and I'm so far away and dang it, and you're so focused on where you want to go and your goals that you really lose track of what's the now moment and the appreciation and gratitude, and I don't think you can study that topic enough. I always need reminders on that, and so anyway, gratitude's
it is huge. Important. So, and like Chris said, it is a muscle, and so I think we all might know that, hey, we should be doing this, but we're telling you, it's incredibly powerful. And maybe the best way to remember to do this every day is to have a gratitude journal. So start a gratitude journal and have it sitting on top of your desk or something, so that you're reminded that that's what you should be doing every single day. Because it's not like, oh, I'll do it here and there periodically. It's a muscle.
Yep.
So that's number 2.
What's number 3?
3 is you're so anxious.
It's because it's
the coffee. He's got the coffee jitters.
Coffee.
He's got a lot of energy from his coffee.
It's the healthiest coffee you can buy.
It's
from Bulletproof.
Pretty much as healthy as you're going to get.
That's the last week I'll talk about Bulletproof.
Yeah, I know.
Like 3 weeks from now. Nobody's calling. Nobody's calling me.
We're genuine in that we love Bulletproof coffee. Okay, so the third money lesson is that little amounts do matter. So it's all the little wins that add up. So when we had a dramatic financial transformation, it was not from a windfall. We don't look back and say, oh, it was that big client, it was that big event, it was no, it wasn't. It was a series of little wins that just added up. And we just got some serious momentum,
and being grateful for little wins.
Yeah, and also remember
that's a big one.
Right, and remember that small leaks can sink big ships,
wow.
As they say.
That's
you
profound.
Like that?
Profound.
I don't think I came up with that. I've heard it before. But small leaks do sink big ships. If you've ever heard about the Titanic, it's true, and it's the same thing is true with your financial situation. So, just be aware that small amounts do matter. Most people think that they don't. So number 4.
Mike Ruiz is watching.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Mike's one of our biggest fans. Thanks for joining us. We love you.
I mean, he's really one of our biggest fans.
He really is. I'm not just saying that.
6'10".
I don't mean, yeah.
He's probably our biggest
tallest,
fan.
definitely our tallest.
Well, he's big.
Well, you make him sound like he's huge. He's not like huge.
He is huge.
Well,
Mike,
in a tall way.
Don't you have anyone tell you different? You're big. we love Mike and Bree.
We love them. Okay, so number 4, and I actually think this is the most important one.
I know you do.
Because a lot of people think that it's all about how much you make. So the 4th money lesson is that it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And, many people are really fooled into thinking that if they just earn more, that they're going to be in a better financial situation. And that is not necessarily true. So, would you agree?
Well, yeah, because I started my business and took my income up, quadrupled my salary.
Yeah, and it wasn't enough.
I
because
was broke. I kept raising my lifestyle. Yeah. I mean, I've watched it. I've watched people continue to raise their lifestyle, and it's, that's why we focus on net worth so heavily.
Right.
Because net worth is really your scorecard. So you can be making big income, and we know people that make big incomes, but they blow it. They couldn't write a 6-figure check if they wanted to, or even a $10,000 check. And,
right.
So that's why we always tell you guys to focus on your net worth and tracking it no matter where you are in the process.
Right, and how much you're saving.
Yep.
For sure, focusing on savings. And one of the things that Chris and I found was the more we saved, the more we made.
Yep.
And that really goes back to the first point, is that we were respecting money, and the more we respected our own money by saving it, the more money we made. And I don't think that's a coincidence either. So that's the fourth one. So number 5 is keep your eye on the ball. We did not have our eye on the ball. We did not know our numbers. So you have to know your numbers.
We were busy though.
We were working all the time.
80 hours a week.
We just had to keep working.
I thought that was the key. Working 80 hours a week. And then we hired a coach, and he's like, "You must be stupid." We paid him to say that. Or he told me, you weren't. I was done. He's like, "You must be stupid. What does it take you 80 hours to do?"
Check emails.
Yeah,
and
it was just busyness, and we weren't focused on the right stuff. So.
Yeah. So when you talk about keeping your eye on the ball, how important is it for people to understand their numbers, either in their business or in their net worth, tracking their net worth, how much they have saved?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think one of the big misnomers, especially if you struggle with money and wealth, is you got to be talented, you got to be smart, you got to be exceptional. It's not, man. It's you can be pretty average and ordinary, and it's just what you focus on expands, and what dominates your thinking. It's not that you have to be a great thinker. You just got to get really clear on what's important to you. And, everything we do, we're one to, help and serve people and give back. And the more we serve people, the more we make, and the bigger our net worth grows. And so for us, income growing and net worth growing is a sign that we're thinking the right things. And also, mainly it's a scorecard of the value that we're bringing to other people's lives.
Right.
And so you just got to ask yourself, man, what am I focused on? And most people are focused on problems and issues and debt. And we had one of our wealthy mentors in our book Couples Money said, are you guys vision focused or problem focused?
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, man, I'm problem focused because all I have is problems.
Right. You're running around putting out fires.
Yeah, and I just keep recreating the same thing over and over again. So the focus on the net worth, and just you're going to update that today, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
I
she's
am.
updated. So.
Yeah, so, speaking of, so every week I update our net worth numbers, and, Chris and I go over them. But really knowing your numbers, which is the 5th item we're talking about here, most people don't know how much money is coming in if they're in business, or they're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. They don't know how much money is coming in their door. We do.
I didn't for how many years? 9 years.
A long time.
And then I remember right where I was, and I was like, man, if I could just communicate to Marlow how much money is coming in the next 30 days.
It was very helpful.
Make a huge difference. And so I started tracking it, but we work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I'm like, how much cash flow is coming in next 30 days? And it's always, I'm always lowballing it too. And it's usually 20-30% higher from where it is.
Right.
But that was substantial, because how do you make decisions
if you really don't know what's coming in?
What's coming, and if it's a little not where you want it to be, like it was 7-8 months ago, not that it was bad, but it wasn't where we were used to, that's a telltale sign. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I got to do things different. We got to do things different. I got to pick up my activity. So you got to gauge that. So that's a big one. Yeah.
So, and also, part of knowing your numbers is knowing where you're tracking, and know where your net worth is tracking before you end up way off course. Because, as we said, we track our net worth like a hawk. And so we gauge it, from month to month, is it growing? And at what percentage is it growing? So we know that we're on track to meet our annual goal. Otherwise, if we didn't do that weekly check-in, we wouldn't have any idea. And then the end of the year could come and we could find ourselves off course. So really knowing your numbers, what's coming in, your net worth, is incredibly important. Most people make the mistake. We made the mistake, certainly, by not doing that, and it makes a huge difference.
Yep.
So Do you have any other thoughts, or you want me to recap?
No, I think they're done with us.
They're done. No, they're not. How could they be done with us? Okay, so I'm going to recap.
I can see because their eyes are glazed over. Mike Ruiz is like gone.
No, yeah, you're funny.
Not.
Okay, so just to recap, the 5 important money lessons that we've learned the hard way. Number 1 is that we had to respect money. We did not respect money. We had to respect not only our money, but other people's money, because it was a direct reflection of our own worthiness. And you have to believe that you deserve money in order to receive more. Number 2 is gratitude. Work on your gratitude muscle, because it is a muscle. We could all say that we know that we need to be grateful, but making it a daily habit. Start your gratitude journal, because you do have to be reminded. I have to be reminded. Chris has to be reminded.
Well, yeah, when you're done watching this, just grab a journal, grab a sticky note or whatever. Just
piece of paper.
Write down like 5 to 10 things that you so appreciate right now. It's very powerful.
Right. And then number 3 is that little amounts do matter. So know that little leaks. What did I say earlier? I don't remember what I said earlier.
Your brilliance escapes you.
I know. Little leaks sinks big ships. So
small leaks.
Small leaks. That's what I said. Small leaks.
Loose lips sink ships.
No, not loose lips. But anyway, know that small amounts add up. We did not have a huge windfall or a big event to point back to. It was just a series of small wins and momentum that made a big difference.
Pushing a snowball down
So little amounts do matter. Don't make the mistake of thinking that small amounts don't matter. And then number 4, my favorite, it's not about what you earn, it's about what you keep, so that you can secure your future lifestyle. So don't let the comfort of today, or seeking comfort today, rob you of your financial future. And saving money only increases your confidence. And we found that the more we saved, the more we earned. And I don't believe that that's a coincidence. And
What's up with that nail color? Oh, that's fancy.
You like it?
Look,
it's
show
new.
It's
new. I decided to just go out on a limb.
This is what happens when you take care of your money a little bit better.
Yeah,
your nail color.
Your nail color just goes crazy.
It's like gold.
It's spring. I'm like,
spring.
Why not?
Fancy.
Anyway, so number 5.
Keep your eye on your nail color.
Number 5 is keep your eye on the ball. Know your numbers. Track your net worth, know where you're tracking, know what's coming in if you're in business for yourself, and really know where you stand, so you don't end up at the end of the year way off course, or at the end of your, 10 years from now, way off course.
Know where you are, know where you're going.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Okay.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We hope you have learned from our 5 money lessons, so that we learned the hard way, so that you can avoid making these money mistakes yourself. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.